Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to go over the basics of diamond painting. I'm going to show you all the tools and how to use them. I'm going to show you how to finish one. I hope you'll stay tuned. So I started with this little 6x6 inch snowman, and I bought them from AliExpress for a little bit over $3, and I made mistakes right off the bat. My girlfriend Sherry said, get the round drills, which are the diamonds. That's what they're called. And I got square ones. She said, get a bigger painting because it'll be easier. And I got a smaller one. And I didn't think it was any harder, but there was a difference, I guess. I haven't done the big one yet, but I do have a big one. I'm going to show you how to start it. And the other things I did wrong is I bought this little container to hold the diamonds, and I thought it would work really well. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to have to get it out and show you. They're in little, we'll call them 4-packs, and what I did is I put the code on top of what the painting, each little spot will have a number or a letter. Maybe I can hold this up so you can see. I thought I'd finish this with you so you can see. If you can see, these are little E's and little F's in here. So what I did is I put little E, little F on the top. Now, in reality, on the side here, that shows you these numbers. Those are the numbers that correspond with embroidery floss. So if you have embroidery floss, then you would know this system. This is some old embroidery floss, and I don't even know if these numbers are still relevant, but this one says 1115. So theoretically, this number would correspond with this color in diamonds, if that makes sense. So they did that on purpose, I guess, so that if you were familiar with these numbers, you would be familiar with the system. And I should have put those numbers on top, so that if I had more square diamonds, I could put, if they were 1115s or whatever the number was, I'd be able to put them all in the same container, because these letters and numbers are only going to be the same for this painting. The numbers on the right will be the same for all diamond paintings. I hope that is clear. These are what you'll need if you want to use these diamonds going forward, and the numbers or letters on the left are what you need for this painting. Hope that was clear. You'll also get in your package, when you get a kit, is you will get, normally, you'll get this little pink tool. I'm going to move this over a little bit. You get this little pink tool, and I'll call it a slab of this. It's kind of like wax. I think it probably is wax. And what you'll do is you'll load this up by just pushing this into the wax until that little tip is pink. See? It's completely full of pink. If you want to use this end, this does 3 in a row. I didn't have good success with doing 3 in a row. They didn't seem to line up right, and ultimately I didn't realize the mistakes I was causing because of that, and I had some issues because of it. So then I watched a video, and I don't remember who it was, but they said you could use some kind of like a tacky putty. So I had this poster putty, and I thought, well, I'll just give that a try. And how you use it is you need a little teeny tiny bit of it until it's really pliable, like almost like chewing gum. And then you do the same thing where I'm going to try and use it on this little sixer. This tool, came with a bigger kit I got, and it has this nice grip so your fingers don't get worn out, and it has this end that I think holds 6 of the drills, maybe 5, I don't know. And what you do, again, is you're going to just put it in to your putty, and hopefully this will work. It didn't. It still didn't work for me, but it works for other people. I don't know why things never work for me, but anyway, I'll show you on the wax. You're just going to push it into the wax. The wax comes with a piece of plastic on the bottom and the top, If you don't remove that little piece of plastic, you're not going to get anything out of it because the little piece of plastic keeps it nice and protected. So only take it off the top, and then I usually did it until it felt like it was full, and then I really made sure there was no excess on the edges or coming out the top. You don't want hairs in it. You just want to make sure it's really going to hold those drills in there really well. Then I also had bought this tool, and I really liked this end, and I actually use this tool more than anything. It worked really well for me. They'll also give you, I bought this, but in the kit that I just got, it's a very big picture, and I'll show you all of that in a minute. They gave me, I'll show you the variety of things they gave me. They gave me a new one of these same tools, only in pink. This was mine, and now I have one in pink. They gave me this tool that's got the end that has 6 and the end that has 1. They gave me a new pad of the pink stuff, which I can't find right now. And they also gave me, you get a tray every time, and they gave me another tray, which of course is handy because I'm trying to find my second tray. There, it's right in front of me. When you first get your diamonds and put out one color, normally you just put one color in here at a time. When you put the one color in there, put all of them in there, and then put another one of these on top and push them down kind of like this and kind of squeeze them together. That will help you that if some of your diamonds are attached to each other, like in the process of making them, they kind of got glued together, that'll allow you to take them apart. So without you having to stick your fingernails in there and doing a lot of work. If I didn't already show you this part, the little letters are right here. That's what you want to put in that spot, F's and E's. So I just figured I would keep those out and show you how to do this with either of the tools. So I'll use the pink tool first, and again you're gonna go with the F, and in my case F is the darker, E is the lighter. So you're gonna take your little container and you're gonna do this to it, and when you do that it flips them so they're face up most of the time. So I need some F's, which are the dark ones, and you're just gonna put that in right beside the one that you already put in. And it is kind of, I'll say this, I found this to be really relaxing, and once I started doing it I couldn't stop myself. I would just lose my mind and just keep doing it until the next day when I couldn't move my wrist. So I'm just telling you, pace yourself, because you really want to make sure that you don't end up hurting yourself while you're doing this. And you can also, they also send you tweezers. So if you have trouble with something getting laid down in the wrong spot, or you didn't line your line up right, these come in handy, because all you do is you just kind of pick it up and move it. You can push them down or push them away from each, like this, and push them down so that you can line up your rows better in case your row gets out of alignment. And I had a lot of trouble with my rows getting out of alignment, and I really tried everything they told me to do. I did, and I'll tell you those when we're going to do them on the brand new one. This is an E, so it's lighter than the one below it is an F, and they should line up perfectly. The problem I had was mine didn't want to line up perfectly. If you have anything on your piece, on the like contact paper part of it, sometimes the backing of the paper will get stuck. I'll show you that too. This comes with this kind of paper on it, and what I do, or what I did, was I cut little slits so that I could always keep it protected when I was working on it, so that my arm wasn't getting anywhere on the non-finished part that was still sticky. If you don't keep it covered with either parchment paper or the original plastic that I just showed you that it comes with, you're going to end up getting your sweater fibers or your shirt fibers into this, and you'll end up not having a sticky surface. What happened to me when I did it, now those are finished and I like to push them down. What happened to me when I did this was I was trying to make sure that everything was perfectly lined up, and when I used that 3-slot, this was putting my lines out of alignment. So my lines aren't straight, and I'm frustrated by that, but I decided, oh look, I got a D that's missing. I'm going to have to put a new D in. So if you have that happen, where you have, where you end up not having straight rows, I would just tell whoever you're giving it to that it's homemade and it might not be perfect. I'm going to make this into like a book cover for my friend. I think she'll get a kick out of it. I haven't decided if I'm making it into a book or if I'm going to make it into a picture frame. I'll show you a couple of my really big problem spots. Okay, right here I have this red one, but I don't know if you can see the big gap there. There's a big gap between this one and this one. So what I tried doing was like shoving some up to get them more in alignment and seeing if that would work, but I don't know if you can see right here how far out of alignment my rows are. I don't know, I just lost my mind. I was completely losing my straight lines, and this wasn't in the places where you're doing the same color. If you're doing the same color, like this red, what you want to do is you want to do like a checkerboard. You want to put this one in, then this one, then this one, then this one. And then after you've gone all the way up the top of that section, then you're going to do the reverse. You're going to put the one beside it, the one beside it, the one beside it. And that helps you to keep them lined up. That's what everybody's told me. I did not have success with that. I also was told to start at one corner and work my way in. So I started at my left corner, worked my way in, and that didn't help me line up my rows. I used a ruler and laid down washi tape, and I do recommend you doing that because the edges do get sticky. And if you want to avoid that, that's what you want to do, is you want to make sure that you put something on the edge to make sure that the whole thing, you should line it right up to the edge of this, if you follow. I didn't do this side because I wanted my ledger to be there, but seemingly this row looks straighter than some of the other ones, except for down here where it's not so straight. So here's what I decided I was going to do to fix mine. I watched a video, Sealing Your Diamond Painting, What's Best, and the YouTuber's name was Studio Sam. She really went into a lot of detail about how she finished hers with a bunch of different options, and what she said worked the best was this triple thick Brilliant Brush On Gloss Glaze by Deco Art. So I did buy that. I saw someone put glitter on their project, and I thought, you know what, that's really genius, because if I put glitter on it, the glitter would hide the problems I have with it. But before you get to that stage, once you are done, you're going to want to take a rolling pin, and I don't have a craft rolling pin that's got some kind of silicone around. I just have the basic wood one, and I'm just going to take one of my baby bibs that I keep for my messes, and you're just going to take your rolling pin and you're going to roll over to make sure all of your diamonds stay in place. I'm not sure what the best way to do the glitter is, but what I think I'm going to do is take this gloss glaze. I'm sure there's a sealer in here, and it's going to make me look stupid if I don't take that off. You know how I try squirting things with this thing still on for 20 minutes until I realize that little thing is actually on there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a paintbrush, and I'm not going to put a ton on here. I mean on the project. I will on the brush, but not on the project. And what I want to do is just go over everything with a coat. And I'm going to try and make sure that I get this really well adhered. What this is going to do is it's going to seal in all of my little diamonds. It's also going to make sure that the project itself isn't fold or rollable anymore. So you got to keep that in mind. If you're going to mail something to somebody, this is not going to be a flat project once it's finished. It's going to be, or excuse me, it's not going to be round. You're not going to be able to roll it back up. You're going to have to send it flat, like in a picture frame, or just something flat. And I'm only going to do one coat, but I just want to make sure that everything is well sealed. Then after I'm going to do that, I'm going to take this Dazzling Diamond glitter from Stampin' Up. Just put a little coat of glitter over everything. And then I'm going to use my brush and brush it over the whole surface so we don't have 3,000 pounds of glitter on it, although I think I still will. I'm going to brush it until it looks good for me. So I think what I'm going to do is I have some old dried out baby wipes that I don't use for anything, and I have my baby shampoo, like 1 teaspoon baby shampoo in a spray bottle, and I'm just going to wipe this and see if I can get some of the glitter off. I don't want scads of glitter on there, and I think I might end up with way too much glitter on there. You have to really make sure you wash your brush good now, because you don't want your brush to be destroyed by the glitter and the stuff that we just did. Alright, I'm going to let this one dry. Let me clean all this up, and I'll be right back. So, I was contacted by a company called victoriasmoon.co.uk. I'll put it all below, as always. And they said, would I like to try to do a diamond painting of theirs? And so I ordered it, and it came in this nice box. I'm going to show you some of the things that they say on theirs. They say their diamonds are shiny, that they're from the diamond ancestry, they're #1 non-ironing. Apparently some of these diamonds kits, you have to iron it before you start using it, and then it says it is compatible with the 447 DMC. That would be the colors of the embroidery floss that I told you about. Now, when I went onto their site to look for this, I found something that was really screaming my name, and that was you could take one of your photos and send it to them, and they in turn would turn it into a diamond painting. So that's what I did. You obviously will not be able to see what the diamond painting is because it's not done. But I'm going to put a photo right here that will show you the photo that I'm going to be making into a diamond painting. And it's of my nephew and his new bride. The day after they got married, they wanted Rich to photograph them on the beach with their dog. And so he did that. And it's a gorgeous photo of all of them, the dog included. Now, when these come, and they're all curled up like this, the best way to straighten it is you're going to pull this up from the edge. If I had a much larger surface, this would be so much better. And you're going to try and pull it to the center on one corner, which I don't think I'll be able to do on screen. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to pull this side down all the way to the center. And if my head's in the way, I apologize. This is the top. I will be starting from the top. Then you're going to, after you do that, you're going to put your paper back on it. And that will make it, you see how it's not rolled up anymore? You need to do that on all 4 corners. I hope my head wasn't in there the whole time. But if you do that, if you pull up all of your edges to the center, you're going to end up having a flat piece to work with, which is so much better than having one that's not flat to work with. So let me flatten mine out and I'll be right back. So I ended up putting down some washi tape on the edges. When you get this in the mail, what you'll find, or when you buy one, what you're going to find out is that the edges, hold on, I'm going to try and get you to a spot where you can see it. When you pull back this paper, and this paper is really important, so what I recommend you doing when you're actually working on it is get your scissors, and you're going to want to cut. I would cut on something this big. I would cut maybe every, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches. Here's what I did with the first one I did. I took it and I took my scissors and I cut maybe 4 inches, but then I probably cut down maybe 6 inches. Let me cut this much on each one, and you want to put it back. The reason you're doing this is so you can leave your protective paper on your project while you're working on it, so that you never have to come up with an alternative like parchment paper. This is free. You might as well go with what you got, right? It's already free, and so I'm going to cut a crooked little line there. Hopefully I'm in frame. Then the edges, I'm going to push a little bit. The edges for about, I would say, the width of the washi tape that you get at the Dollar Tree, which is this, is about where it's sticky. Hold on. This is so hard to do in this space because it's not like I have my craft area where I'm on film is big. It's not that big, so it makes it almost impossible to do this. Anyway, I'm going to bend this back so you can see what I'm trying to show you. First of all, there's what we'll call the legend over here. There are 38 colors in this one. I'm sorry, it's sideways. It's the only way I could come up with to do it. And then this is the symbol that will be on this grid, and this is the number of the actual, well, we'll call it floss or the diamonds. So if you can see this from here where my finger is to this part of where it starts, where the actual design starts, that is sticky. So it's easier if you can come up with a way, and all I'm doing is I'm trying to keep this as straight as possible. Now on the one that I did first, I didn't cover up my grid, but I'll show you the story about the grid in just a second. Okay, that's the tricky part. I could do the top a lot easier because that's where I made my cuts. But all you want to do, hopefully you can see this, is you're going to line this right along that black line that outlines your design. I think you've got the idea. I'll finish the rest off camera so you don't have to endure it. I'm trying to make this as easy for you to see as possible. These are my individual. I've already taken each one of them out of their bags. Now they come like this. This can be a little bit overwhelming when you get these. The number that matters is this 3743 right there. These are the ones that were extra to fit into my storage system. And my storage system, since there are 38 of them, I only had 32 storage compartments there. And then I used 2 of my compartments that were in that other case. Okay, so these are all of my numbers. And then these are the letters that correspond, or symbols that correspond with it. And when I first started with the snowman, I didn't have any trouble seeing it, but here was the problem. I wasn't lining things up properly, and I watched a video where someone said, you know what you really need is one of these lights. And of course, you know me, as soon as they say you need a light, I'm like, yeah, I need a light. It's called a light pad. It's not expensive. I think I paid between $11 and $12 for it. And it looks like this. This one I think is called a B size. I'm not sure. Let me tell you the measurements of it though so that you know. 12 inches by almost a little bit, like 9 1/4, I would say. It has 3 settings on it for the light. It's like dim, medium, and bright. Here's the thing I didn't love about it, and maybe this won't be a thing, you know, you probably will go, well, what do I care about that? I'll just use it with my phone or whatever. The cord that comes with it is a cord that doesn't have an electric plug on one end. It is made to plug into like a phone or that type of outlet. The plugs look like this. Here's the plug for this end. It's the one that you would, you know, like a computer kind of plug. And here's the plug for the other end. Luckily, one of the lamps I use in my office has 2 of these little port things on the back. That's what it looks like when it's in the back. Hopefully you can see this much. This is the little G is where you touch. That's the lightest. This is medium. And then that's brightest. Do it again. Light, medium, dark. Okay, now let me tell you the problem I encountered with it. It's great to be able to see what you're doing on your with your project, but what I couldn't do is I couldn't see my beads, the diamond colors. This also comes with clamp. Yeah, that's the word, clamp. And so you can just clamp your project right onto the piece. Okay, here's where my problem came in. I put it on the brightest. I could see these, but when I was just laying in bed or sitting somewhere, it was really hard for me to see my drills, my diamonds, once they were in the little tray. And that made me really frustrated. So what I would recommend is only put one color in here at a time, because if you put more than one color in there, you're going to get frustrated. The person that used this putty, they used one that was called Blue Tack. That's the name of it. I think it was made by Loctite, and it was a blue stuff, and she loved it. I have not tried anything but that poster putty because I had it, and clearly it didn't work. Let me show you how to do a bunch, if you have a bunch of colors in a row, because that's the one thing that I think is, or in an area, is most important. And of course the color I need for that is a tricky one. There it is. So what I'm going to do is in this area, I don't know if you can see, there's a bunch of these little ones with a dot. There's the dot, and it corresponds with these. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to dump some into your tray, like that. So once you've shaken them and they're face up like this, what I do is I move my paper until it's right up to where I'm going to work. And remember, we're doing these little dots. You see that little dot right there? Those are the pieces that we're going to be putting ours in. And I guess these are square. I thought they were round. And you want to make sure you get your first one right in the middle of that square and make sure it's lined up. I'm only being this picky because I'm showing you how to do it. Normally I would just kind of lay it down and move on. Now this is where we get into the checkerboard. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm putting them every other one. Trying to make sure they're squared off in their hole. And then what you do after you've done that is you're going to go back. I'm going to put this one in because it's the very top one. You're going to go in and you're just going to fill in the ones on either side of it, the ones that you just put in. That one. Sometimes these things don't seem like they're the same size, and that kind of makes me crazy because I think that maybe it's my fault that they're not lined up, and then when they're not the same size, then I think to myself, well, wait a minute, is it my fault or is it the fault of the manufacturer that they're maybe not straight? Because this one doesn't look like it's as big as the other ones. I'm just saying. But that's how you do it. Now, if you want to buy the light, that's up to you, but I'll put the link below. I bought it on Amazon, and I thought it helped me to be able to line things up better, but I don't think I did a good job of lining things up overall because I didn't use the light most of the time because I was laying in bed doing it, and that was a really little one. This one obviously I'll have to do on a tabletop, but the one that I was doing in bed, I couldn't see the colors, I couldn't see the codes. It was really a struggle, but it's really relaxing and I really enjoyed doing it. I'll just say that. Let me tell you a couple more things. You might end up having a little bit of a wrinkle in your pattern. If you do, and I didn't have any in the snowman, but if I have one in this, there's a video that I'm going to link below that shows you how to fix it. I don't want to go into detail because I don't know specifically how deep. You use an X-Acto knife, a demon stick, and you cut the surface where there's like we'll call it like a wrinkle in the contact paper in this layer, and you just use an X-Acto knife and you just cut very gently. And I want you to see that video, so I'll link it down below so that you know exactly how to do that right. What the other thing that I would recommend is after you're done with a session, like let's say I've done this whole piece. When I'm done with that, what I should do is I should put a book or something on it to really make sure that it's pressed in. Rub it. I would rub it also when you're done, but I would put a book on it just to make sure that it's really well adhered. And then obviously, as I did with the snowman, you're going to want to seal it. And I think my snowman is dry now. He looks pretty good. I mean, he's got quite a bit of glitter on him, but that did fill in the creases, and I don't think it's as noticeable the problems I had with it. One last thing I wanted to tell you is that they will send you a paper grid that will tell you all of the numbers and the symbols. Sorry if this isn't very bright, but I just want to make sure you saw that you do get that to have in addition to the paper, so that when you're trying to coordinate your diamond, you have a good way to do it. One other thing that I wanted to tell you was that when you buy these, if you order the one like I did with a photo, I have to say it did not take long to come. Maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks at the very most. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact time, but it didn't take very long at all to get this, and I was really impressed by that, so I thought I would tell you that. And it wasn't super expensive, although they did give it to me so that I could try it, so that you guys could see how good of a quality it is. Compared to the other, the snowman, quality-wise, I have already noticed a difference. It's much more sticky. It's just nicer in general. I want to tell you one more thing. If when you're pulling this back, a little piece of the backing sticks to your, I'll call it contact paper, you're going to want to use your fingernail or something and pick that off, because otherwise your diamonds won't stick to it, and you don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that they're really well adhered. So what I did is I folded back the edges of my snowman, and I glued them down, and then I put a piece of cardboard and red paper on it, because I thought that's what I was going to finish it with. But then I decided I wanted to put a piece of some kind of paper that would be frisky. So I thought I would put a piece of this glittery green cardstock on the bottom of it to make it more like a frame. That was my thinking anyway. and I put some glue that was this kind, the AdTech Crafters Precision Glue, upside down, sorry, fine line. I like that glue. And then I thought I would also put on some tear tape, which I did, and that way the tear tape would keep it in place, and if it's a little bit crooked, which it looks like it might be a little bit crooked, I could always move it because the wet glue allows you to do that, in case you wondered. I had a little trouble with my snowman not being straight. He's not straight, not the paper underneath it. So then you had to really work on the paper underneath it to make sure everybody was straight. Then what I think I'm going to do is I have a little set of feet from Dollar Tree that I thought I would put under that. So let me find those and I'll put it on there and show you what it's going to look like when it's done. So these are the little feet. You buy those at the Dollar Tree. It's $1, obviously. So there it is, finished. I hope that you enjoyed this. This diamond painting stuff is really addicting. The problem I have is I don't really want to hang these on my wall. So when I went online, I found that you can buy like book covers, things like that, keychains. So I'm going to order some of those to play with those instead. Maybe make some magnets for on my refrigerator. Just things that are, you know, fun and quirky. I don't think that I want paintings on my wall of diamond paintings, but I don't know. I might change my mind with time. So this is what I'm going to give my friend. I think she'll get a kick out of it because she collects snowmen, and obviously no one is going to have a snowman like this one. I hope you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.